this is probably one of the coolest regional deck lists I'm going to get the chance to cover going forward. And I wanted to cover this because I think this deck is going to spark some ideas in a few people out there, kind of for the future of this deck. So first off, to me, Lednik, I believe it's Lednik. He got 5th place with 60-card Orcust at the Slovenian Regional. So keep that in mind. It is a European event. People seem to, for some reason, discount that stuff, but I don't want to do that here. I want to strictly be open-minded with this concept, and I want people to understand that Orcust, as a whole, it has potential. I do like the budget danger engine that we're packing here, because it does warm my heart that you have budget options available to you, and you don't have to literally spend all of this money on the best cards. I definitely think that this deck is more budget to... Is there anything expensive in here, really? Borreload is probably... Borreload and I guess Gumbler are probably the most expensive stuff in this deck. Outside of that, like, yeah, there's nothing... This is definitely a good means to look at and understand that, yes, budget options are very good. So let's dig on into this deck, shall we? So with the restriction of Armageddon Knight, probably the real best card in the deck, the on normal summon, dump whatever the hell you want out of your deck. I still think that this card is insane, and people need to understand that, yes, you can play Mathematician, but Mathematician doesn't drop to Sturdo. So we are playing triple copies of Dogman. This is mainly for the fact that this is a dark. And I think that's one important thing to understand about all of these is everybody is dark, everybody is a danger, everybody does fill the generalized purpose for what we need it for. So 3 copies of Danger Dogman, triple copies of Danger Mothman, additional turbo speed, and of course triple Danger Thunderbird. I mean, okay, once again, you look at all of these options, these are probably the cheapest versions of Danger cards available to you, and they all fit the quota for being dark. Pretty sure all the Dangers fit that quota, but... Alright, moving on along here. We are packing triple copies of Dark Grefferman. No real explanation for this. I mean, let's be honest, the fact that Armageddon Knight is limited, you have to compensate now for Dark Greffer. And if you do draw the bird, I mean, feel free to discard it to special summon Greffer if you need to extend and set up your plays. Now, I do like this. We are playing 1 copy of Birdman. This does act as a tuner to give us access to Dark Strike Fighter. And Dark Strike Fighter will win games just because of time. Thank you, End of Match Procedures. You're so beautiful. Now, we are playing still triple copies of Neospace Connector, doing standard Gumblar plays, ripping X cards from our opponent's hand, not letting our opponent really get the chance to play the game, per se, is everything that this deck wants to do, being a jerk. Now, of course, we have 1 Aqualad to go with that package. Now, we are playing triple Orcust Symbol Skeleton, so you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Orcust monster in your graveyard, except for Symbol Skeleton, special summon it. She not special summon for this turn, except for those dark monsters. So that's why we care about this. And then, of course, the Horror. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Orcust from your deck, except for Harp Horror. And you can add special summon for the rest of this turn, except for those dark monsters. So that's kind of what we're going for with this deck, is just beating on Death's Door with those dark monsters. Now, of course, we are playing the PK package. I believe he said that the best board will end with at least 1 Fogblade and things like that. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. So, 2 Ancient Cloak, 1 Ragged Gloves, 2 copies of the Silent Boots, and then, of course, 1 copy of the Wand. This card is sent to graveyard, special summon 1 World Legacy from your hand, or you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 of your banished Orcust, splash summon it. You can add special summon for this turn, except for Dark Monsters. This is another extender, honestly, other 2 of them. Correction. Now, spells, we're playing triple Lure of Darkness. This is pretty self-sufficient. I mean, everybody in here is dark, so you have absolutely no issue with getting rid of a combo piece, essentially, except for these guys, but nobody cares about them. I have triple Call by the Grave. Hand traps are a real pain in this deck's ass, and I do think that it is important to understand that you are playing this as a counter means to dealing with the rest of the bullshit that the metagame has to deal with. So keep in mind when you are looking at, oh, triple Call by the Grave, yes, it's because you want to play the game. Now, equip spells and other things. 2 copies of DDR. We've kind of learned over time that DDR is a very fucking broken card. The fact that this card just lets you discard any card that you don't want in your hand, dump that one of these guys, you know, and then banish it and start setting up revival, things like that. It's a good time. Of course, the Phoenix Blade for recurability. 1 copy of Foolish Barrel to discard a piece to the graveyard. 1 copy of Living Fossil for generic revival. Of course, 1 copy of Monster Reborn. 1 Moonmere Shield. 1 copy of Caliburn. This is mainly just to pop the gain yield life. I was looking at this before this video. I'm like, really? He plays Caliburn. I'm like, oh shit, time. Duh. You draw going into time, you're good to go. Now, we do play 2 copies of Field Spell, so you can activate the effects of Orcust monsters in your graveyard, or link monsters you control, with Orcust and their original card name as quick effects. During the main phase of this card is sent to the graveyard, basically, except for the turn it was sent to the graveyard. You can send 1 card from hand to the graveyard to recur this back. So there is that. Of course, the 1 orchestrated Einstaz. So if your opponent normal summons or special summons a monster, you can take 1 Orcust World Legacy from your hand or deck and either send it to the graveyard or banish it. So there is that. And then, of course, 2 copies of the draw card. Send 1 Orcust World Legacy from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. And, of course, the hard once per turn restriction on that. They do not want you abusing these cards. I don't know why they did that, but okay, I guess. 1 copy of Overdone Barrel, just additional extenders. We have 1 copy of Rhoda. 2 copies of Twin Twister, 1 copy of the Orchestrated Core. So once per turn, you banish 1 monster from your field or graveyard, then target 1 Orcust or World Legacy card you control, except for Orchestrated Core. Neither player can target it with card effects. This turn, even if this guy leaves the field, if other Orcust and or World Legacy cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. This card's actually pretty good. Now, we are playing triple copies of Yugioh Fogblade and 2 copies of Shade Brigadane because, well, everything that Rusty Tin Can do for this deck is great. I actually can't wait to see the PK engine just get hit for no reason. Now, the extra deck, we have 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, 1 copy of Gumblar, for reasons, 1 copy of Topological Bomber Dragon, 1 Rusty Tin Can, 1 Summon Sork, 2 copy of Orchestrion, 2 copies of Langrisu, 1 copy of Isolde, 2 copies of Galatea, 1 Borreload, 1 Breaksword, and 1 Dark Strike Fighter. Now the side deck here. We are packing Triple Lancia. This card is starting to become more of an essential combo piece in today's day and age. Just stopping Evenlies, other things like that, Thunder Dragons from resolving. Like, this card does a lot of work, and it's kind of scary, actually. Now we have triple copies of Ghost Ogre. Probably the best hand trap. I would like to see Ash Blossoms, but looking at this deck, I definitely feel like it is on a budget. We do have 1 copy of Twin Twister. Triple copies of Dimensional Barrier. Once again, another fantastic card, making sure that we can shut off the bullshit that our opponents are throwing at us, and so forth. Of course, we have 2 copies of Gozen Match, and triple copies of Red Reboot. Altergeist is a pain in the ass for everybody. Nobody wants to fucking deal with that. Alright, tournament report time. Yugioh Orcust. So, for round 1, I played against Monarchs, which I won 2-0. Okay? Round 2 was versus Lair of Darkness. I won in time, and it was still game 1. That's kind of crazy. Round 3, I won against BA 2-1. He won the dice roll and let me go first, and he couldn't out my board and didn't read what Langrisu did. So I just sent his Borreload to the graveyard. What does Langrisu actually do? This is linked card cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can target 2 of your banished machine monsters, shuffle them in the deck, and then send 1 linked monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. This card cannot attack the turn that you activate this effect. Oh, that card's broken. Okay. Game 3, I summoned Gumblard with Aqua Dolphin, discarded 4 cards, and then he scooped. Round 4 was against True Draco. I lost in time in Game 3. I could have won, because I bricked Game 2 and 3. Round 5, I played against Dino Doll, Mech Invoked, and it ended in a draw. And then round 6 was against Praying Kids, I won. I said I love this version of the deck because it's consistent, and you can end on multiple broken boards, such as Topological Bomber Dragon with Langrisu, or I can't pronounce cards today. Orchestron, this guy. Or with at least 1 Fogblade, or you can Gumblar for 4 to 6. So I think that's actually kind of cool. Just another Gumblar abuse deck running around now, but, you know, I gotta give a shout out to Orcust, You know, they're still kind of sitting around the corner. I get they're getting more consistent, but we need to see where the TCG goes with this deck and if Gumblar is going to survive. So, guys, what do you think about the 5th place Slovenian deck list? Please, so comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And, well, guys, I'm out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanco40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.